Today I tested Castor 927, which is a blend of synthetic and castor oil, and the results were equal. Here you can see at 50 to 1, the top RPM was right around 6,600, and at 32 to 1, the top RPM was 6,600. And secondarily, I want you to notice that this also is timing stable. There's only about a 1.5 degree difference between these two, and these had the same amount of ignition timing. Same as with the Group 2 mineral oil. Same timing, same timing. Synthetic seems to be timing unstable. As you change the different jets, you have a different need of timing. So I think my advice would be, if you're using synthetic oil, that you check the timing. For one, if your bike manufacturer has told you in the manual, let's say with Yamaha, to use Yamalube, and you say, Yamalube, that's old school, I'm going to go with Motul 800. Well, Motul 800 is synthetic. And so you got to get a magneto puller and try different timing settings to see what works best. So I don't know if you've noticed it, but I have a thing against people just automatically thinking that 32 to 1 is the perfect ratio. First off, they think from the old test, which the Gordon Jennings test in Cycle World was done with castor oil. I don't doubt that castor oil gives more power. But because castor oil fouls plugs more rapidly and leaves deposits inside the engine and the exhaust pipe more rapidly, people tend to shy away from castor. So it's really kind of unimportant, if I can say it that way. So if using a mineral oil, a synthetic oil, or a blend, this statement is not true. My test is showing that it does not change the power. Within 3%, it stays the same. Not having testing castor so far. It reduces friction at the rings. It probably does. But how much does that affect the whole system? 129 degrees centigrade here and 122 here. Motul 800, 116 and 110 centigrade. So I want to point out something. You noticed on the graphs that with more synthetic oil, there was less head temperature. What is happening is that, as you can see in these pictures right here, when you use a lot of oil, such as 28 to 1 to 32 to 1, synthetic is so thick that it causes an insulative effect on top of the piston to prevent the piston from absorbing as much heat. Less heat in the piston means less heat in the cylinder, which also affects the head. That's what's happening with adding that much oil. So for a racer, yeah, if you don't care about the expense, you have adjusted the timing to match the jetting and the characteristics of the engine, then yeah, a 32 to 1 is fine. For a trail rider, I would not suggest 32 to 1. That's a lot of synthetic. A synthetic will do a very good job of keeping everything lubricated at 45 to 1. Very good. This is normally what happens when you add too much synthetic oil, because synthetic is more heat resistant, so it doesn't burn as easily as mineral oil does, or castor oil. That's one way you can gauge how much oil to add if you're not racing, just by the spooge. Too much spooge means too much oil. If you're racing and using synthetic, you better get used to that spooge, because the extra oil will help keep the engine temperature down. Be sure to check out my video on testing the castor oil. And once again, thanks for watching. Take care.